Good Sunday morning. My name is Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to this week's Community Focus. This morning, I am joined by Sheena Barnes, a local advocate of the LGBTQ plus community. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. And I guess the dogs are excited for this interview as well. So that's good to
I
see.
see.
But recently we've seen, of course, in states like Ohio and Florida, the passage of these or the introduction of more of these bills that would limit the amount of teaching that educators could do regarding gender as well as race. So what has been your reaction to seeing all of this happen across the country?
Very heartbreaking that we have adults and elected officials' offices and they're attacking youth. They're being bullied, something that we strive to not have in our schools for having at state level. So it's very disappointing and heartbreaking.
And to see so much time being spent on this, it's like, there are so many other issues happening in our world, in our communities right now, but yet all the time is being spent on these things. So what do you think should be done in order to get things back on track so we can continue progressing forward on the issues that truly matter?
Honestly, say gay, say diversity, and vote. We need to get folks that think this is okay to bully our kids, to limit our teachers and what they can do in our classrooms out of office. That's the best thing we could do for our future.
What has been the reaction that you've been receiving from people here in the area with regard to these bills?
It ranged from, sadness to frustration to anger. And all of those emotions are valid. We're tired in the LGBT community of fighting for just what we need to, like everyday life, equality. Like we want to just literally live like everyone else, and yet we have to keep defending ourselves. And the same for the communities of color. We just want to be human and have rights like everyone else.
And you had mentioned earlier that this seems like bullying, and a lot of youth, this could be detrimental for them. So for the people that may not know, in what ways could this be devastating for the next generation?
Well, particularly in the LGBT community, our youth at a higher rate attempt suicide rates to folks not accepting them, the gender identity or sexual orientation. If that youth is of color, that increases to 3 times to 4 times more likely. So we will see an increase in suicide attempts, unfortunately. We will see an increase in youth homelessness and also abuse and harassment and bullying in our schools and in the community.
One thing that has been really noticeable is that a lot of these bills started popping up just recently. So why do you think all of this is starting to happen at once? And what do you think is the main reason that this is happening so quickly?
I think over the last couple of years, we have seen the empowerment of white supremacy again. It's on the rise. It's been attacking the Jewish community, communities of color, and the LGBT community. And it's time for all of us to start uniting and really ending white supremacy.
For the people that are watching this interview and seeing what's happening and starting to open their eyes to some of the issues that we're having to deal with in our country, and especially the impact that a lot of this is having on the youth, in what ways can they be supportive and helpful during this really difficult time?
Currently, reach out to your state representative, House Speaker Culp, and tell him no to House Bill 616. And also no to House Bill 327 and no to House Bill 454. Get out and vote. Support your local teachers and the unions that are standing strong for them to teach the truth. We need everybody in this fight to make sure that we're going to protect our children.
When all of this started, a lot of people were looking at it and, just thinking, wow, that they'd never expect to see something like this happen. So to have been an activist for so long in this area, in this community, and hearing from different people in the LGBTQ plus community, is this something that you've ever seen happen before?
We had a long fight with marriage equality and for marriage equality. Did I think it would be this quick they'll attack other rights? Sadly, yes, as a Black woman, we see the constant attack once again on equality. So we knew the fight wasn't over when we gained marriage equality, but we didn't realize they were attacking our children.
Do you feel that enough is being done locally and in our area with regard to making sure that everyone feels supported and included?
We have people on the grounds, and that's what makes the changes. We have started a coalition here with myself and City Council member Nick Colmives and City Council Teresa Gaddis, and the chapter for Equality Toledo, and their board has started making a coalition to address the issues at a local level to make sure people are aware, to give people resources if they need them, if this starts to trigger things. So we're trying to solidify some, unification on the ground level first to take to state.
Talking next steps, what do you think is going to happen in the future, and for you personally and for others that are dealing with this and watching this unfold?
Honestly, we're going to keep fighting because I know they're not going to give up and we are not either. So it's going to be something else they're going to introduce that attacks, diversity in some form or fashion. Even if it doesn't affect our community, it might affect the Indigenous community, people of color. And once again, we have to unite on all fronts because, attack on one is attack on all, in my opinion. So we're going to keep fighting.
And this is definitely going to be something that's going to play out for a while, and it's still, it's continuing and it's growing around the country. So I'll definitely be following that closely. And Sheena Barnes, again, a local advocate of the LGBTQ plus community here in Toledo. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. You have a great Sunday.
Thank you. You too.